So, greetings, friends and followers. This is Nurses Talking, and I am Dale Barcy. As always, if you like what you see and hear, subscribe. Leave us a comment and let us know what you think. Here on Nurses Talking, we speak to nurses anywhere in the world and at any stage in their nursing journey. Today, I have the great pleasure of welcoming Dina Paoloni out of the United Kingdom. Dina is an Italian nurse now in the United Kingdom, and she has over 23 years of experience in this area. She is a certified career coach. She's a founder and CEO of Nurses Move, which educates nurses how to safely and strategically move abroad. She's a continuing professional development provider. She's an author of The Awakened Nurse. She's an NHS clinical entrepreneur. She is an NHS AI ambassador. She's a public speaker. She's an award-winning ICU specialist. She's a mentor and leader. She says her jam is career design, leadership, team dynamics, and entrepreneurship. So, welcome, Dina. That's quite a lot.
Hi, thank you very much, Dave, for inviting me. So excited to be here. Well, it seems a lot. So actually, it's the same thing. So it's just, the work that we do, we just,
Yes, indeed, indeed,
yeah.
indeed.
Thank you very much for this lovely introduction. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys.
It's my pleasure to have you. But first of all, what brought you into nursing?
Well, I lost my mom.
Mm,
I was nearly 18, and well, I can tell that I used to play piccolo and I was quite good actually.
mhm.
And I could become the first piccolo in the orchestra in Italy. But my mom said the music was not a career path. With music, you don't know if you can basically bring
Mhm.
bread at home. This was the point. So we sit down and we decide that I should do medicine. Okay, because I always love help people, stay close to people in need, etc. But then 6 months each other apart, my grandfather and my mom they died for cancer. So my family tried to save them both, um, helping them with private healthcare. So
Yeah,
basically, none of them survived, but all the assets of my family gone. So basically,
yeah.
when my father became widow, and I was starting the last year of secondary school in Italy, and I've done classes study, so nothing that make me ready for
Mhm.
work, but only thinking and reading, okay, and writing.
Mhm.
So I come from this classes study. And now I lost my mom, I lost my grandfather, who I already had an amazing relationship with because I was used to play with him, music with him. And
Yeah.
then now my father didn't have money anymore to send me to the university. So he said, go and find a job because I can't help you. So
Mhm.
finished the secondary school, I was like everything was lost. And my grandmother, who just lost her husband there, she came to me and said, "Listen, I can't help you with medical school because it's too expensive, it's too long. I am old." She was already elder. So I'm old and I don't know how long I can live. She was so very, very sad and vulnerable. So she said, I can pay for you nursing school if you want, that you still, want to help others. And so I accepted because I didn't really have much choice, right?
Yeah.
And my family has a background. Well, this is very common in Italy, still nowadays. Nurses are not valued as they should be. They see nursing, Italians see nursing more as a, lower
Yeah.
entry profession, right? It is very common in many countries.
Yeah.
And so I basically solo this decision. I say, okay. And she also say, once you finish nursing school, you can work a little bit and then you can pay for medical
Hmm.
medical school. But the fun thing was that, yes, I entered nursing school very disappointed, feeling that they just dismissed me with a very low profession. They didn't love me. I felt that the fact that my grandfather and my mom died was my fault. I was 19, so still
Yeah.
very young. Also, I have to care for my sister, also for my father, because my father went very in a bad depression state. Anyway, because my mom was 44 when she died, so she was
Mm,
young.
yeah.
And so I start very sad, very low mood, very depressed, like I have to do, like this was a duty that I have to go through.
Yeah.
But then I fell in love with nursing, and then I start advocating for nurses, and coming from the university, say, this is amazing nursing, this nursing like that, and excuse me, my family, my auntie, my grandmother, they say, okay, okay, let's just finish when you finish to do medicine.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You have, no, I love it. And so start to
Mhm.
advocating. So since the very first year of nursing, I fell in love with nursing, start advocating for nursing, and the rest just
The rest is
happened.
history.
Happened. Yeah.
This is the thing about it. This is the thing. So many of us go into it not fully understanding, maybe because we do are drawn to it, but still not fully understanding
Yeah.
how much it offers, how it expands us as people,
Exactly.
and all of that. So it's huge. It really is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things you talk about, you now live in the UK,
Yeah.
first of all,
Yeah.
and you say that you rebuilt your nursing career twice.
Yeah.
So what did that experience of rebuilding yourself twice, what did it teach you?
Very good, complex question. Happy to answer. Let's start. So I built my career twice because, and actually three times. No, no, if we're going to analyze properly. So once entered the workforce in Italy as a nurse. Besides, I was working with my sister in a pub because she would drop school because of my mom or drama
Hmm.
that could happen that time. And so I helped her with this pub. So while I was finished studying nursing, I was also working as a pub bartender, something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I graduate and then continued to work in that pub and started a new job as a nurse in ICU,
Hmm.
as a ICU nurse. And so it was very, excuse me, very intense, I would say. Plus, I was already volunteering for the Italian Red Cross. So at a certain point, we dropped the pub because I couldn't help anymore. And also, my sister said, I don't really like. She was young and whatever.
Hmm.
So pub gone. I was trying to build my career, entering this workforce where in Italy, the camaraderism and the nepotism or bullying is quite embedded, right, in the nursing. So it took me some time to build strength back because I
Yeah,
was still feel vulnerable by, the loss of my mother.
yeah.
So yes, so building this nursing, character
Yeah.
while also volunteering for the Italian Red Cross. Now, the Italian Red Cross, I was a volunteer. I was young and it was everything beautiful and happy and butterfly and unicorn, But I was helping a lot of people and I started enter the education and training sector
Yeah.
of the Red Cross. So I
Record.
was educating not just the population I was doing health education and health prevention in the society during events that we were organizing, but also I started to teach. Also because I have degree in nursing, I started to teach volunteers, aspiring volunteers, what were about first aid, for example, or social
Yeah.
inequality,
Yeah.
a little bit of mentoring, coaching, active listening. So all the things that will help volunteer to basically do their job with
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable people. So, and I've been in Italy for 12 years before actually moving in UK. And so I work in ICU, I work in ambulance, um, in A&E as a nurse, as a
Yeah.
civil war nurse. And then in the Italian Red Cross, I was mentoring, coaching, and I've done also program and course a little bit, high specializing in maxi emergency. And so I can say that I built steady, slowly but steady in my career, both in as a
Yeah.
nurse, as a volunteer in the Italian Record. When we decided to move abroad because Italy disappointed us very much, I have to start. Every international educated nurse, I have to start from
All
the
over.
all over,
Mm-hmm.
like you are a new graduate nurse. And so at the beginning, I would say that I was really focused on my family. I already have two kids, so we wanted to build a new life abroad. So I was not career oriented, but more
Yeah.
focus on
No family.
work, bring his salary at home, right? My
Mm-hmm.
husband, he's an architect, but he didn't speak English when we moved here,
Mm-hmm.
just a really tiny bit. So he has a good curriculum that people call him for interview, but he was not able to pass the interview because of the language. So the first 2.5, 3 years, I have to kind of overwork. So I
Mm-hmm.
was very focused on working, and didn't really care about career. Also, we have to fix things that we have at home and like that. But in the meantime, as a volunteer, I have this passion to, help people.
Yeah.
And so I created this Facebook group for at the beginning for Italian. So the translation is Italian nurses who want to move abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I created because I want information for me to how I move abroad. But because there were not many nurses, Italian nurses abroad, so
Mm-hmm.
people joined the Facebook group to have information. So in the 2, 3 year time I was already abroad, let's say that I decompressed by volunteering for nurses. So I was continuous find information from abroad and to put in the Facebook group to give to the Italian nurses who want to move abroad. So basically, even though I was focused only to bring the salary at home, I was also learning, studying international nursing and nursing
Yeah.
migration, stuff
Yeah.
like. So I kept going, and when I didn't know information because I couldn't find on internet, I was going on LinkedIn, chatting with people, and ask them because they were already abroad.
Mm-hmm.
So my LinkedIn profile grew, Facebook community grew, and slowly, slowly, my learning, my knowledge about this team grew.
Yeah.
Another thing, I wasn't a very interesting career, but I was observing people who were going ahead with their career. So I start to understand the strategy behind making a
At
career
that
because I
time.
noticed that it wasn't like in my country that you reach a certain level. But in Italy, it's quite flat, the career. There's not very much career, but you can do
Mm-hmm.
different things. And if you're good, you can, make aside a good money if you are able
Yeah.
to not trick the system, but if you understand the system. Anyway, so I thought that if you stay in your place for a certain amount of time, you
Mm-hmm.
automatically grow with your career.
Mm-hmm.
Not
No.
at all, absolutely, because I saw people that were in the entry level for 15, 20 years. So I start to observe and understand. Also, I always been fascinating about behavior. So I also try to understand the behaviors of those people who were able to make a career or those who were not able to make a career.
Yeah.
And so while I was focused on merely bring food at home, I was observing and I was studying. So when was time for me, and this after having my daughter, so my third kid,
Good. Yeah.
and after COVID, I said, you know what? Now is my time. I want to do career. But in the meantime, people reach out to me. I wanted to be coach. And I always reply, but I'm not a coach. I'm not feel a
Yeah.
professional to help you do this. And I have few people that asked me to coach them and they wanted to pay me for coach them. But one in particular let me decide to go full in with this career, if you can say that. And this lady, she told me, I will pay you. Please coach me. I said, I don't feel comfortable because I'm not a coach. Why you are so selfish? I'm telling that I want to pay. So let me know what you know. I'll pay for you. Don't be selfish. And I felt so sorry. I felt because I thought I'm not selfish. I don't feel enough to coach.
Yeah.
And so it's okay. We found a compromise. She gave me just like a token, so I
Mhm.
accepted.
Mhm.
But that made me realize that I may was only person who actually globally
Yeah.
was doing what I was doing. It was the time that that I started to do it professionally. So I've gone through a program for online training to learn how
Mhm.
to do online trainings and how to marketing and quite expensive but very very good. And then I went through career coaching training. In the meantime, I was also study transformational coaching, career coaching, like reading book. Yeah, basically, I think it's been a transition to answer your question finally. I think that has been a natural transition, and at 40 years old, finally I understood what was my call. Because yes, I fell in love with nursing, and I was defending nursing and advocating for nursing, but I didn't understand that that was my call. That
Yeah.
was my meanings, right?
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
meaning and my passion as well. So let's say that I just surrendered. I just say, okay, if this is just let's do it.
Let's do
I
it.
love mentoring. I love listen people. I love show people opportunity. I love nursing. I love advocate for nursing. So that it is.
There you go. There you go. It's a package.
It's about also in the side. I would say that I've done postgraduate in critical care,
Mm.
and I've done projects that lead us to best cardiac team in UK. So many things aside, because
Yeah.
uh, studying career coaching, then I also, connected the dots because, as I said, I was watching people doing their career, understanding behavior, etc. When I study career coaching, I understand was the process,
The
and that's it.
process.
I
You
hope I
know,
answer your question.
you did, you did, you did. But you focus a lot on nurses who want to move abroad. Um, and so one of the questions I think I want to ask is when people are considering moving countries, what would you say are some of the, well, okay, two of the biggest mistakes they make?
When people leave a country, generally they leave the country in a rush. They need to escape the country for their reason. There are push factor and pulling factor. Push factor from their own country that push them away, like politics, war,
Hmm.
disappointment, or low salary, or no good workplace, right? And
Hmm.
pulling factor from the other side. So is salary good, better workplace condition, innovation, career opportunity, salary, housing, cost of living, all the other things. So generally, uh, only few people move abroad for love or because they want to travel the world, right? So what's happened that basically because of these pushing and pulling factors, people and nurse, we talk about nurse, but this is
Yeah.
very generalized to all migrants. They are focused on salary. They focus on escaping. Do it as fast as possible because they can't handle anymore stay in their country. So two big mistakes: choosing the wrong country, which is the big for me, and grab the first job that someone
Mhm.
offered to them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wrong country and just the first opportunity. Why is that? Because I always suggested that there's not an El Dorado, right? There's no best country. There's the
Mm-hmm.
country that is better for you. So based on your personal and professional need, you should choose the country that is able to satisfy your personal and professional needs. Because what I repeat all the time, you don't move abroad for a job, you move
Mm-hmm.
abroad for a new life.
For
So
life.
if you don't create good foundation for your new life, you risk to go through culture shock and not able to come back because all of us go through nurses shock. All of us. That's no
Mm-hmm.
excuse. This happens
Mm-hmm.
100% to everyone. But if you do your study, you understand what is the best country for you actually are able quite quickly to recover from cultural shock. While if you don't do it and you move to a country just because you need to go away, escape from your country, you find yourself in a situation where you really you can enter depression, and there are
Yes.
people that
Yes.
actually kill themselves, this
Uh,
kind of thing. So, or very negative bad habit that leads to chronic condition, etc. So big mistake, the biggest one is just go to another country without understand if that country is actually the best for you.
best for you.
And second, because someone offer you a job, it doesn't mean that that is the right job for you because, and this actually happens so often in nursing. So let me explain. If a hospital need 100 nurses, this hospital call a recruiting agency. This recruiting agency look for 100 nurses, okay? 100 nurses respond to this offer. So the recruiting agency take these 100 nurses and put them in the place
They
where
want,
the
mhm.
hospital want they to be. So they don't have power of choice. They don't care about your skill and competency because we say the nurses, when they move abroad, they start from scratch anyway. So they put in that, excuse me, where they want to be. And so these nurses also have to sign a contract, right? Because generally speaking, this hospital and recruiting agency pay everything upfront.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How nurses repay back by staying in the contract for as long as needed. It could be
Mm-hmm.
3 years, could be 5 years, depending on the country, depending on the policy of the hospital, and depending of the time. You know, if time was much needed, they are able to fix the contract for 5 years. So
Yeah.
basically, these nurses find themselves in this contract they cannot escape from because if they want to breach the contract, they have to pay a penalty that usually is 3x or more
Mm-hmm.
comparing to what has been spent for moving
Yeah.
abroad.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say if a recruiting agency spends $50,000 to move a nurse, the nurse usually have to pay 45,000 back, which is unfair. But anyway, this happened. So if you move in a country without really thinking about, you find yourself being very depressed or also many problematics because you are in the place where you're not supposed to be. If you take a first job offer, you risk to sign a contract, you risk to find yourself in a job position or in a job workplace environment that you don't like. And we know how hard it is to be in a place where you don't like,
Yeah.
right? So these are the two mistakes. Plus, there are many. Yes, but
Yeah,
these are the
so-
biggest two.
yeah, yeah. Early on, you talked about nursing being seen as a lower profession. You believe nurses need to become more visible, more valued, and more influential. So even today, it's 2026, and I see that many nurses still struggle with visibility. Why? First of all, why do you think that is so? And what steps can nurses take? What can they do to have more confidence to be visible and make themselves more valuable?
The problematic mainly two causes. One is because our profession is born in trenches. So we have this hierarchy mentality, right?
Mm,
From the bottom to the top. So we are positioned in a very low entry level, especially in certain country. And the second, in fact, is the culture. So nursing is different country by country, and nursing profession evolve following the society evolution. So let's say the
mm-hmm,
nursing in Italy, because in Italy we have a certain culture, is different from nursing in UK, because in
mm-hmm,
UK there is another culture. So based on two different culture, in Italy I was a person that didn't value much, right? Despite all the things I was doing. In
mm-hmm.
UK, the people, the teacher of my sons, the men who come home to do all the
Yeah,
maintenance,
yeah.
or I don't know, the doctor in the hospital, they took at me as I was, I don't know,
Mm-hmm,
this
yeah.
princess come from the moon because I was important. So this in fact was one of my culture shock because people appreciate me when I moved in UK and I was like, I was in paradise, this has never happened to me in Italy. So so yes, but still we have this hierarchy, right? And so also adding the fact that during COVID and after COVID, we've been very gaslighted as a professional
Mm-hmm,
and also very exploited, right? Even though if we are the trusted professional kind global in the world, people trust us. People want, they confess to us, right?
yes.
They ask from us explanation because maybe they were not able to understand for what the doctor
Mm-hmm.
was said. So this creates a bond between us and the patient. So we sacrifice for the patient. And so say that we have a hierarchy profession, mentality profession.
Yes.
We have a certain culture. We tend to give ourselves to order because we tend to bond with the patient. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
focus on the patient instead of us. We tend to stay silent and we tend to look down, not look
Yeah.
up,
Um,
right?
mhm, mhm, mhm.
And so
Yeah.
we slowly um, silence ourselves. So the system. So I don't believe that the system is against us. The system, and as I said this quite often, the system creates itself through the decades because of
Mhm.
powers dynamics
Yeah.
and also because of events, right? So the system must grow in that way, not necessarily against us, but we just accepted the system through the decades. We haven't done that much to raise our voice because we were focused on patients, of course. And now after COVID, that everything got worse. We are so gaslighted, bullied, emotional and exhausted. They're just we shrink on ourselves. So we became more silent and silent, right? Also, this kind of validation system that we have, that if we don't go ahead with our academy career, we are no one. So
Yes.
nurses who want to be nurses, they don't care about academic progression, they became silent and silent. And so this is why I believe that this happened for, and or they also other nuance that happen. Um but doing this, I believe we risk that staying silent, uh, I think we risk that we're going to destroy our profession.
Oh.
I'm scared that, more and more nurses will leave the profession.
Mm-hmm.
And considering that there will be a much bigger need of nursing in the next decade, um, we're going to destroy the humanity if we don't do anything.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're talking about the next decade and just the humanity and all of that. And one of the things that I want to ask you about now is you are NHS AI ambassador, and a lot of what we're talking about is technology and AI and all of this in healthcare. So looking forward to the next decade, what do you think you see? How do you think you see nursing evolving?
Well, nursing has a great opportunity for evolve to so many opportunity for research,
Hmm.
academics, entrepreneurship, innovation. So, what the billionaires and the biggest voice in AI said that AI will implement the human capacity, right? And this
Hmm.
is true. But they also say that AI can replace so many jobs, right? And so many people will remain without job and mental health will rise, mental health problem will rise, right? But there are only few of those professions who remain needed, and one of
Hmm.
them is nursing
Hmm.
and will be much needed more than certain doctors, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
problem is that only those who are aware now and awake, if I can use this term, on what is happening now, only those who are very present will be able to surf the wave. Okay?
Yes.
So avoiding AI is just stupid, if I can say that. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anyone, but this is the truth because AI is here already and will stay. Some people say that AI is a bubble. Yes and no, because some people say, the web bubble, internet bubble that we had in the early 20s. Well, it could be an AI bubble, but internet still here. We're still using the internet
Exactly.
is part of our life. So the same will be for AI. Yes, there is a lot of experimentation now, and so this booming of AI, but it will assessed very soon.
Hmm.
And so we'll still need use AI, we'll still need to learn AI, and
Yeah.
AI will be embedded in our work. So who understand this now will lead tomorrow. So nursing will open up in quite soon. In a couple of years, we will have, in UK, a few months ago, they in a yeah, I know in the USA as well, they did a lot of campaign to recruit soldier, right, for the military space.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this will happen very soon for nurses as well, more or less of a couple of years. Not that I can't predict the future, right? I
Hmm.
don't have the crystal ball. No one has, but there are anchor factor that
Hmm.
can predict what will
What's
happen
going to happen?
because lots of billions are invested in AI. Lots of
Yes.
billions are investing in climate change solutions.
Mhm.
And the biggest population living in the world, which are the baby boomers, they are
Yeah.
entering the elderly phase and they will
Hmm.
need a nursing care more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Plus, Gen Z or millennial or others, they are entering, some are entering the reproductive phase, so they want to have a kid. So the fact with midwifery,
Yeah.
fertile clinic, all
Yeah.
these things will explode. Mental health will explode.
It's
So
a big
we'll
one.
need more and more nurses.
Hmm. Hmm.
We are
Yeah.
in depth of nurses already now. By 2030 or 2045, I think that the need of nurses will be massive. So if people lose job, they don't know what to do, just go to nursing. So yes, the opportunity are massive, and as a career coach, I felt the duty to understand what's happened.
Yeah.
And this is true for every career coach, right? Because if you have a client that want to create a certain career path, you must know what's happening in at least 10
What?
years, right?
Yes.
So I felt my
Yes.
duty to understand this, especially considering the uncertainty we are at the moment because AI. But yes, there is uncertainty, but also there are, as I said, anchor fact that there are, and no one can remove them, and there are
Well, yeah.
generational shift and the need of each age, you know,
Yeah. Yes.
population. There are AI because they are invested so much, so they want to say no. We joke tomorrow will not any AI or climate change as well because the
Yeah.
climate is changing, human fault or no, or natural progression, still we are seeing the damage, the
The
illness,
effects
the
of it.
climate effect.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a massive opportunity for nurses because
Exactly.
humans still need the human.
Exactly. 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 So I have one last question, Dina. You talk about creating nurse authority, sustainability, legacy, and all of that. When your nursing career is eventually written into a story, because I have to believe that it will be, what legacy do you hope your work leaves?
Um, all of us have a story,
Hmm.
right? People keep repeating, you wrote a book, you wrote a book. Well, yes, I sit down on the chair for 9 months. Have wrote a book. So it's nothing that, yes, you must be able to write, right? If you read, the more you read, the more you're capable to write. So,
Hmm.
okay. So everyone have a story and everyone can write the story. So I understand the question is not about my book, but to tell you that all of us, we are enough. We are enough to do what we feel that is our call or we're passionate about, or most important, we're able to do, right? So my legacy is tell to my kids, to others that listen, that we should not listen to other judgment or opinion. We are enough. And because we are enough to give others what we are able to do, to give. So my legacy is, especially for nurses, that we must look inside and understand who we are and what we are capable to do, and give to others is always rewarding. So the more we give, the more we receive. And I hope this is the legacy for my kids, for nurses in general.
On that note, you are enough. I could not have chosen a better note in which to end this notion, this reinforcement that you are enough to deliver whatever has been inside you. Thank you
Exactly.
so much, Dina.
You're very welcome. No
I,
need other certification, no need training, no need masters. You are enough as you are.
You
And
are
I
enough.
always, because I always talk with, well, also have clients that are older than me, but with the youngest, I used to say, you are enough, my little thing. Don't trust others, just trust yourself because you are
Trust yourself.
enough, and the world is yours,
There you go.
basically.
There you go. You're enough and the world is yours. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure.